Thank you. Thank you. Every single one of those claps and anybody with the clap has been paid for by Cheshire Matters. It has happened. It has happened. Hey, I have to say, guys, I thought it was going to rain today, but people have been telling me that they put the heating on. Can you believe that? Hello?
No.
No, it's true. People have put the heating on because it was so cold today, in the houses. It only warmed up until later on in the afternoon. Anyway, lots of stuff going on. Lots of things. We've got it in the title there. I don't know, if we just start going through this stuff, you're going to start saying, hey, what the hell is going on? Well, I can tell you now, there is lots going on. Let's bring the guys in. Say hello. There they are. Look at that. Look at those lovely, lovely, lovely faces. Look at that cheeky chumps right in the middle there. Trevor, the gazelle.
I felt a song coming on then.
Cheeky, cheeky, cheeky,
Today, what's going on?
That's the one. That's the one.
The introduction, Mr. Landlord. That's put me into song mood, that did.
Indeed. Right. And, okay, Statsman, look at him. He's looking very serious. He's got some serious subjects on his mind tonight. I can tell. But let's just go on.
What, like rent boys and
I could hear that.
I've been rushing around again today because that's what you do when you retire. You never stop.
Yeah.
And just got half a story about that rent boy. And why do I keep freezing? I keep freezing. That's what you mentioned in that, Mr. Landlord. I've started freezing.
Indeed.
Again, freezing.
Indeed. I know that.
Look on his face. Look at him.
Something not quite right. But anyway, okay, check this out, right? These things are all the rage, okay? Ready? Donald Trump.
Sleep at a meeting in Saudi Arabia. Fake news. I closed my eyes for 2 seconds thinking, deep thinking, smart thinking. I just flew 12 hours, no sleep, straight into high-level talks. And guess what? I still ran the room. No teleprompter, no naps, unlike Sleepy Joe. They call it dozing off. I call it global strategy. America's back, stronger, smarter, and wide awake.
Hey, isn't that good? I have to tell you, all these things, all this AI stuff that's coming on, I just think it's absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Not quite right. Something not quite right.
Oh, come on. I'm going to do one of us.
Quite right.
I'm going to have one of us.
I wouldn't want to see myself. Yeah, I wouldn't want to see myself in nappies again. No. There's something not quite right there.
But there
Won't be
are
long, mate,
people
until it's due again.
There are people out there that pay good money to be in nappies. I'm telling you.
It certainly is. Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Well, okay. First one up. Check this out. This is the first one, the biggie that came out yesterday.
Just want to bring you some breaking news now, just coming into us. And Sky News understands that Gary Lineker is set to leave the BBC after Sunday's final match of the day of the season. That's rather than staying on to present the FA Cup and the 2026 World Cup. It's understood that an announcement is due tomorrow
Yeah, this is long overdue, like a period that never was.
Been first reported by the Sun newspaper. So just to reiterate that breaking news, Gary Lineker is set to leave the BBC after Sunday's final match of the day of the season, rather than staying on to present the FA Cup and 2026 World Cup. It's understood an announcement.
Well,
right, that's enough of that crap. Get it
Yeah,
off.
I was about to say, can we move on? And I only want to hear resignations when it's Keir Starmer, to be honest. Is he stepping down? Is he resigning? I don't watch the BBC. I don't care about Gary Lineker.
I know, but it's such good news because he thought that he was just going to get away with doing anything and everything whenever he wanted. And he made a tweet which was anti-Semitic, right? In nature, okay? And he suddenly realised it, and then he pulled the tweet. But then the BBC, they pulled him.
Nah, we need people like that around so we can just realise how dumb they are.
Well,
works well for us.
I don't know what he's going to do.
With about 100 million in the back sack, I don't think so.
No.
Well, what I predict now is, now that he's gone and he's lost his position at the BBC, I predict a lot of the crap from behind the scenes is going to start filtering out into the news. You know, it'll be some stuff about him, or, you know, him being domineering, or too
Rent boys.
I was thinking,
not
Rent
at all.
Boys myself there.
No, nothing like that of that nature. That guy is just normal as anything. As normal as you can be.
Normal.
On about these Rent Boys and that. I've just been watching a clip.
That's
of
what they
George
say about that
Galloway.
Ukrainian kid that firebombed Starmer.
Who said?
He's
Allegedly firebombed. He's allegedly a rent boy.
Allegedly a rent boy.
Yeah.
And George Galloway just put in his I don't know how to word it, his manner, in only way George Galloway can put it. He just said, apparently he's got quite a few occupations. Apparently he's a roofer as well. He said, so if you need your roof doing, and it sounds like with the other rumour that he could certainly sort out your back door as well. He said, apparently.
Is he uphill gardener
your back
as well?
door fixing? Here's the man.
How
That's
did
what he
he
said.
know? How did he know which addresses and which cars to go to? I mean, that's another thing. That's a baffling thing.
That's if it was him.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, I get it. I'm doing my.
You would have thought he would have been more, you know, he would I don't know if we get away with this. I would have thought he'd have known more about the back door than the front door.
Something.
Well,
I
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
There's a lot of, I'm not even going to mention his back passage. I mean, I was going to say, but he's not got a back
How's your
passage
back
like
passage?
mine, but he probably has, actually.
How's your back passage doing?
Yeah, oh no, it's atrocious. Mine, it's filling up even more by the day, because once one person fly tips, then they all think, well, everybody can fly tip them because it's open season, isn't it?
Oh yes.
At the minute there's a mattress there. I've got a little 2-seater. That's quite attractive, actually. Well, somebody tried to burn it, but it's all right. There's a little 2-seater. There's a little chair there. All we want's a wardrobe. And we could probably start moving some migrants in. I mean, that's what I'm looking at. If somebody's got a gazebo for it,
Call Serco.
Get a
Serco.
gazebo, put it round it, and get a little wardrobe in there. We're laughing.
There's the one. There's the one. Well, all these things about the immigrants. Okay, you've got to listen to this. I mean, this is just so funny. Are you ready? Again with the little kids animation. You ready?
This is a British passport. You're obviously not British.
Yeah, I am.
All right, where were your parents born?
Oh, sorry, Sheffield.
All right, where were their parents originally from?
Pakistan.
Pakistan. We're getting somewhere. Right, so if there was a cricket match between England and Pakistan, who would you support?
I don't like cricket.
Okay, how many times a week, on average, do you eat curry?
Oh no, I don't like curry. No, I prefer English food, you get me? Like pizza or Chinese.
What is your chosen faith?
I would have to say I think George Michael's version probably still best.
Final question. Do you have a connection to Al-Qaeda?
Never met the guy. Oh no, that name does ring a bell. I think he's one of my friends on Facebook.
I've not seen any. I've seen the odd one about Trump. And
You know,
who's the other one that's going round?
you know who that is, don't you? Computer says no. David Walliams.
It sounds like him, but I'm
Jesus.
not sure he'd do that because he came out after he'd done Little Britain and went, I'm so sorry for being racist when they weren't.
Well, okay.
That sounds like him.
I mean, that's an old joke that's been readapted. That
I know it, but isn't it brilliant?
I know that from the past.
I
But
love
it's good how
that.
they do it. These little AI things.
I think it's
We're gonna
brilliant.
have to get a load of little
Okay.
AIs about us, aren't we? I think.
Indeed.
have to
Well,
do it.
anyway, okay. First one up. Okay, quickie. So we've had Linaker, right? Before we go on to some of the main topics, okay. What about this?
This is total capitulation, a complete sellout of the British coastal fishing communities. After years of lies, flip-flopping and flat-out betrayal, Keir Starmer has finally done it, the full Brexit surrender. The ink's not even dry, and he's already sold out the fishing industry, caved on EU laws, and handed back control like a desperate man tossing his house keys to the burglars. Your politically incorrect common sense commentator here, and today we are calling out the most shameless political betrayal of modern times. Starmer's so-called EU reset isn't a deal, it's a disgrace.
Well, what do you think of that?
Well, we're at the end of the 5-year period now, aren't we, where negotiations for the fishing was going to be yearly. He's just given that away again.
Yep.
He's now made it 12 yearly.
12 years, yeah.
And stitched it up for 12 years when it should have been negotiable on a 12-month contract.
Yep.
He's done away with it again. He's done it again.
Well, you think of all that work that we did in 2016. And this guy is now starting to break it down. I mean, how is he going to get by that? Because, quite literally, all those people, the 17 million of them, he's alienated now. He's alienated them.
But he's also, but there's the other side of it where he's also got the other 15 million on board. Hasn't he? He's got all the remainers on board.
Well, I don't think he's going to get away with it, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble there.
Well, how are they going to stop him? Did you notice?
They can't stop him.
Have you noticed, though, every little aspect of every little thing to do with any deal to do with Brexit had to go to Parliament, had to be voted on, right? But even if that happens now, they'll just breeze it, won't
they? Can do, yes, I agree with you. Okay, but the problem is...
Absolutely breeze it, yeah.
I think that's going to spell trouble for this guy. I think it's going to... I mean, he's doing so many things.
Trouble for him, John.
How many times have we been saying this? This is trouble for Starmer. Starmer's got to go. He's got to go over this.
Well, then why did he agree? Why did he agree to stop the boats? Why is he talking like that? Is it because he's frightened of reform?
He's talking like that to get... Look, he's the most unpopular... I wouldn't say Prime Minister. He's probably the most unpopular person on this planet.
He is,
let alone politically. So
his own ratings as a Prime Minister are so low. They are the lowest in political history for any PM.
Lowest ever for any PM. He's an absolute disaster. The bloke's a disaster. Nobody wants him there, apart from himself. But the problem is, you can't get rid of him.
Yeah, it is a massive problem. And here's a little bit more from this guy. I like this guy, what he does. I like him.
A backroom handover, a sellout, done behind your back while waving the Union Jack. What do we know? Starmer's team just handed EU trawlermen access to our waters until 2038. That's 12 more years of British fishermen watching their livelihoods sink beneath waves, filled with foreign nets and empty promises. In return, we got easier trade rules on cucumbers and veterinary paperwork. Honestly, it sounds like satire, but it's real. And just to rub salt into our fishing wounds, we're now aligning our plant and animal laws with the EU, laws we'll be bound to, enforced by none other than the European Court of Justice. Yes, the same one we supposedly walked away from in 2016.
Now that...
Sovereignty gone then, isn't it?
There's sovereignty gone. I was just about to say. Again.
But it's all right though, John, because at least you can just wait for like, I don't know, an extra 5 or 10 minutes now going through passport control, yay, rather than 20. Honestly, the things these people moan about is just absolutely minuscule in the great scheme of things.
I'm just absolutely pissed off with what he's done because it makes a mockery of all the work that took place with all those different movements, grassroots, people saying, look, we want it out. This guy is just, he's hammering it home. Yes, he's got the control, but what is he doing? 1 minute he's saying, we're going to stop the boats. Yay, that's great. Next minute he's doing a deal with the EU. Boo! We all voted to come out. This guy is just nuts. He really is nuts.
We go around in full circles again here. That this guy is just nuts. Yeah, totally. But the Brexit as such, it's not been implemented by the Conservative government.
No, that was true. It hasn't been properly implemented.
That's why Boris has gone.
Yeah.
Because they've not done anything at all about Brexit.
They
They've
didn't
not
follow through.
implemented it. And when people say, well, Brexit has been a mistake, it's been a disaster, Brexit hasn't been implemented.
No. But yeah, he's talking. Here's the thing. He's looking for a closer tie-up with the EU. But he says, if it wasn't for Brexit, he wouldn't have been able to do that free trade deal with India. He wouldn't have been able to do the free trade deal with the US. So, and he's boasting about it. He said, US deal, all right? India, free trade, all right? Blah, 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 blah. Where was he the other day? He was at Armenia, And I think they made a bit of a fool of him, really, because he was supposed to be dumping off the prisoners, isn't he?
He was in Albania,
country.
Yeah. He went there, didn't he, for the deal? Didn't even
Albania, that's it. Sorry, I thought it was Armenia. Sorry, go ahead, Mark.
Got backheeled, didn't it? And then you say this deal with India. Again, I've not looked into it yet, but apparently that's not worth the paper it's written on.
It's written on, these...
It depends if you're Indian or not, doesn't it? Because they get zero NI, so that's wiped. That's good. So we'll pay for their healthcare now, will we? Yeah, all right.
Yep.
What else are we going to pay for out of this?
Everything else.
This
I went
nonsense?
past the Cresta Hotel earlier on. Now, I've got a point to maybe some of our people that are listening and watching. Maybe they can answer this question, but apparently by law, you're not supposed to have above 4 people, is it? Together, because that's a gang, is it? A group or whatever. Roaming the streets, what I'm getting at. And I went past the Cresta Hotel today and I seen gangs of 6 of the migrants there walking around together.
Different rules for them. Different rules.
No, yeah, but I'm just wondering I'm sure it was above 4 people, the police will disperse you.
Yeah.
So what if you've got a family of 5 and you're in the park? This is bullshit. You can kiss my ass. That's what I say to that. I'm going and I'll tell them now, I'm going in the park with more than 5 people. I'm having a fire. I'm having a barbecue. You can get lost. Try moving me.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wouldn't happen.
My country, I do what I want.
It wouldn't happen with families as such, Matt. But there is a ruling that if there's 6 or 7 people walking around in a gang of a night time, I'm on about like 6 or 7 blokes or men or whatever. There is some law that was brought in where they can actually break that up.
Well, it's been like that for years, mate. Since I was a kid, you can get done for loitering, even if there's 1 or 2 of you.
Yeah, something like that. I know there's some sort of law in it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not clear on it, but I'm sure our listeners could sort of bring it in. But anyway, I passed today and they were just like roaming rounds in gangs of 6. I think that's quite intimidating, to be honest.
I don't think the police can do much anyway. I mean, Julia Hartley Brewer came out with a thing, said that the Met Police have narrowed down the list of arson suspects to 70 million people.
Yeah, it's about right, isn't it?
I'm wondering whether or not she's going to get a call. Okay, right, Keir Starmer. Right, this is Mike Graham. Right, Keir Starmer. Security at home, strength abroad. Right, Mike Graham. His own house got firebombed. So it kind of makes a mockery, of what they're saying. I mean, I have to say, I'm just not, I'm not convinced by this guy. There's so many inconsistencies. But anyway,
there can only be 2 options.
There are problems behind this, haven't there? Because some people are saying, well, because it was in 3 areas plus a car and that, could it have been a terrorist attack? Yeah. And then they say, well, but he's Ukrainian and he seems to be on the Ukrainian side, so that wouldn't really add up, would it?
Give way to Mr. Hartley. Look, sir, go on.
Terrorists don't just set fire to your front door. That's just a load of old crap and all of it. Look, is Keir Starmer is either A, schizophrenic, or B, he's got a different advisor every day of the week. Do they always, you got 7 and they work part-time or something? Because every day, like you said, it's different.
Yeah.
Come out one day, oh, no, we've got to protect our borders. Then he's off there now. Is this going to be the start of free movement again for a certain age group of people?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Okay. Well,
he's already said that it's not the start of free movement, but it is for people of a certain age group.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, Trevor, it will be, won't it? Because he's a flip flop, isn't he?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's not consistent, is it?
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the next subject. Okay. And just as a bit of a segue, seems as though that we were talking about Ukrainians. Okay, check this out.
You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any
That's
cards.
probably more annoying than the banana thing and the chicken, to be honest.
Oh, you mean this?
Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana. Chicken, banana.
You shouldn't have mentioned it. I didn't. You know, I wasn't even going to put that on until you mentioned it. But
Yeah,
anyway,
you've literally got it on a hot cue there already. I'm not daft.
how do you know?
That's why as soon as I mention it, these come out.
Right. Okay. Now, Mark, tell me all about these people.
Every senior member of our cabinet, and actually I think pretty much every senior Labour politician, certainly over the last 25 years, have been members of the Fabian Society. And for those who don't know, the Fabian Society is a secretive organisation who believe in communism through evolution, not revolution. Their logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
That says it all.
That says a lot. And then when you look at the UK, what's happening and what's happened, certainly in the last 25 years, if you look at it through a Marxist or a communist lens, things start to come into focus of what's actually happening. And going away from the investment world, you look at the deliberate destruction of families, the deliberate destruction of religion. These are all communist tactics, if you like, because under a communist regime, the only thing that matters is the state.
Okay, Mark, tell me, okay, if he's right, and, you know, most of the cabinet, you know, are part of the Fabian. Are they? Go ahead. Name them, please.
Keir Starmer, Angela Rayner, Rachel Reeves. Who else have we got? Wes Streeton. Yeah, most of them. Half of them. Steve Reed, Lisa Nandy.
So there's got to be at least over 20 of them, of the main officers. What about the underlings, you know, the undersecretaries and stuff like that? Do you reckon that they are as well?
Vice President Sadiq Khan.
What? Vice President of the Fabian Society?
Fabians. There's 3 or 4 of them, yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Their executive committee includes 5 front benches. Well, that was that was taken when they were in shadow cabinet, so it's probably could be a few more now.
So
they're everywhere.
How many of the MPs do you think in Cheshire are part of the Fabian Society?
They'll probably all be part of it. They're all part of the socialist group, aren't they? The Fabian Society is a socialist group, isn't it?
It's a different group, though. Well, you'll have to look into the registered interest of the MPs, but I've been looking into this for ages. I've done it with the Cheshire West and the Chester Council, and there's 6 of them. You've got Felicity Davis, Michael Garvey, Gareth Gould, Sheila Little, Lucy Sumner, and Christine Warner, who's one of my councillors.
Gareth Gould? He's part of the Fabians?
Correct.
Jesus. What the hell?
Jesus. I slightly disagree with this guy. He says they're a secret organisation. They're not. They call themselves a left-wing think tank that influences political and public opinion. They're actually a society of members. They have local groups as well.
Who funds them?
Opinion, well, they probably fund themselves. In my opinion, they're just a group who are just literally actively working and gradually to destroy England and replace it with socialism.
Wow.
But their idea is to do it slowly rather than revolution. But to be honest, the outcome's the same no matter how you get there. It's state control and suffering.
So it's evolution as against revolution.
Yeah. Well, you say that, though. So he mentioned their logo, which has changed. But originally it was a wolf in sheep's clothing. So let's have a little look and see if they are a wolf in sheep's clothing. So they've got a quote on their website, and it says, "We believe in the fight against inequality, the power of collective action, and internationalist outlook." Now, where have we heard this before? I'll tell you where we've heard it. So you've got fight inequality, yeah? That's the class struggle, isn't it? Yeah. Wealth redistribution. Marx and Engels, from each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Collective action, that's workers' unity, is it not?
Yeah.
Marx and Engels, workers of the world unite. That's the Communist Manifesto.
Right.
Internationalism, global workers' solidarity. The proletariat have no country. Again, the Communist Manifesto. They are definitely a wolf in sheep's clothing because they're named after a Roman general called Fabius. Now, he was known for his strategy of delaying attacks until the moment was right. And here's a quote again from their website. For the right moment, you must wait, as Fabius did, most patiently. But when the time comes, you must strike hard, as Fabius did. So what's happened to the long game? When do they strike? Are we going to keep pretending that this shit works and it's just repackaged or done differently? Because all the socialists of the past have all tried to do this differently, and it's ended in absolute tears, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you think? Do you seriously think that? Why would anybody be a part of a society like that if they didn't have some form of influence over them with policy?
This is what they've got. They've had influence since this Fabian started with the rise of socialism in about 1880s, 1884, I think it was.
All right.
So gradually over time. But the funny thing is, this Roman general, he did wait. And he avoided direct battle, but he didn't wait 140 years, did he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got some more irony. So they named him after a Roman general in an empire, did they? Oh, what happened to anti-colonization? Oh, these people are morons. They literally are. But there's about 6,000 morons because there's quite a few of them.
I think
all affiliated to Labour. I'll just finish this one. Every single Labour MP, sorry, not MP, Prime Minister has been a Fabian. Half the cabinet, and as we said, a lot of local government figures.
People like Gordon Brown, Jim Callaghan, all the people going back.
I'd have to check back on them if you can find out.
So, how...
They don't hide it, it's quite open.
How strong is their influence with their policies politically, and how strong is it at a local level as well?
Exactly.
I'd be interested to know that. And also, does it spread to the police and other government departments?
Depends if they're left wing or not.
I'm very, very interested in that, because that could also be construed as quite sinister, really.
Well, it is.
Like a Quango. Well, that is actually training people to take over ministerial posts with policies that they're putting through. And I'd love to know how many of the educational establishments and the leaders in these educational establishments are either Fabians or Common Purpose. I'd love to know.
You'd be very surprised. Exactly. It's like Common Purpose. It's like the World Economic Forum. It's like all these institutes, the Royal Institute for this and that and the other. They all dictate what goes on. And we can see what socialism brings us, and we don't want that in this country.
No.
Some examples, no problem. I can do examples. Got a list of them. Undermine parliamentary sovereignty. Tony Blair was a Fabian. Supreme Court, Human Rights Act, the ECHR, all handed power to judges, have they not? Devolution, you mentioned Quangos. They make the decisions, not the politicians.
Yeah.
What about the attacks on tradition? The Lords reforms? Their ideology is literally sucked up the royal family. They're woke. The attacks on our culture, free speech, our freedoms, they're all dead. Nationalism, state control, that never ends well. Comes inefficient, underinvested, bureaucratic, uncompetitive. Welfare reforms. Not only have we progressed to the point where a lot of the natives are dependent on the state, now we're literally housing half of Africa and the Middle East. Multiculturalism, the unions, economics. We'll move on to economics in a minute. The London School of Economics, that was started by the Fabians.
Yep.
You might wonder to yourself, what are socialists doing starting schools of economics? Maybe they're interested in economics. Oh, they are.
It's to influence, isn't it?
It's to change capitalism to socialism,
Yeah.
You can't run an economy on human rights and equality and all this.
So are you saying that they had something to do with the London School of Economics? I know there was a connection.
They founded the school, John.
They founded it?
Well, look at their reason for founding the school, so they can train the future leaders. It's exactly the same MO as the World Economic Forum, apart from it's going on a lot longer and right at home, right on our shores, right under our nose. It's not secret. They don't deny it. They have meetings. It's all documented. That's the thing, they're not secret.
Are we able to see the minutes of those meetings?
I don't know, but they have them all on YouTube, a lot of the conferences and stuff. Maybe not the AGMs and the behind-the-scenes stuff. The only reason we know about the politicians because they have to have their declared interests.
Yeah.
Register of interest, don't they? Other people don't, so you'll never find out about the teachers and all the other, and the police never, and all that.
That's what the other thing I was going to be interested in, to say, are the police? Do they have, are the leaders, the hierarchy within the police, are they Fabians as well?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. Well, Rachel Reeves is, and she's doing the economy, is she? Really?
Yeah.
So was Zaya Youssef, by the way, the Reform chairman.
He's a member of the Fabians.
No, can't say, but that's where he went, to the London School of Economics, where the Fabians train their future leaders.
Wow.
To be socialist. Yeah, wow.
It's
He's been doing this in plain sight for years. We've talked about this before, but
it sounds like that cult. What's that cult that Tom Cruise is a member of?
Scientology.
Yeah, it sounds like something like that. But it's far more dangerous.
What happened is communism got a bad name, didn't it? So these thought, how can we repackage it and make it all nice and fluffy? So you look on their website, they've got all the left-wing buzzwords, the equality, the diversity, all that stuff. But then you look at all their quotes like we've just done and you read into it and their end goal is the same as the Marxists.
Wow.
Isn't it?
That's interesting.
It's to change. If you take capitalism out of this country, this isn't going to be England anymore. If you implement socialism, this country's finished, and it's been creeping through, hasn't it? Since what? Just after the war.
Oh yeah.
World War.
No,
it has been creeping through, but like you say, they're doing it by graduation more than anything else. And if you look at the actual statistics for a Labour government, then it's going to be 200 years before they even start getting anywhere, isn't it? Because Labour are in for 5 years and then they're out for 15 years, aren't they? Then Labour are in for 5 years and they're out for... There's only Tony Blair that ever bucked that trend. Yeah. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much. I'm just thinking if it comes into... If you can get any connection with this two-tier policing, etc., does that come into
probably? Because again, I'll say they wanted to train the future policymakers, civil servants, economics.
Yeah,
you see what they're doing.
Yeah,
same MO as the WEF.
Yeah, I get you.
But when they start doing it, Mark, it's so unpopular. This is why I don't think that they'll ever reach the end game.
No, well, we're 140 years. I'm pretty sure that Roman general didn't wait 140 years to go into
That's
battle.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the likes of Starmer now is so unpopular. I really can't see Labour going to another term,
No.
Even if they get rid of him, they're not going to change anything. I mean, all right, they've got 4 years. Christ, he's not even been in a year yet, have they? What he's destroyed the country, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
But you can see, Trev, can't you? All this makes sense when you look at everything that's been going wrong.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you say, we mentioned it last time. We touched on it, the Frankfurt School.
Yeah.
And they denied about that. And if you look at the 11-point plan, I mean, one of them is destroying the family, destroying religion, or should I say Christianity, our Christianity, not
They're trying to. Religion. There's no two ways about that. They are definitely
it's
trying to.
It's falling apart at the seams, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, if they wanted to just change the economic outlook of the country, then fine, but it's not. They want to do it socially as well, don't they? Look what they're doing in school. They're teaching. So what are they doing? There's no such thing as Anglo-Saxons, or the Cheddar Man was black, the first Britons were black. You didn't build your own country, kids. It's got nothing to do with you. Hate your history. You're all racist.
Yeah.
They're teaching them to hate their own country, so they'll join them and fight against the system.
This is a problem, innit? Because you're getting indoctrinated in schools, aren't you? It's as simple as that.
People believe it when they're young, don't they, Trev? You see, and it's only as you mature a bit, you realise all this stuff's just guff, never works.
Yeah, I mean, the general rule, isn't it? The general rule is that, the young people all vote Labour till they grow up. That's been the general opinion.
But they're moving to reform. There's no two ways about that.
Until they grow up.
They're moving to reform. Anyway, let's start to wrap that up. Let's move on to something which is a little bit more modern, okay, rather than relative history here. Check this out, right? And this will be our last subject of the evening. Here we go.
Like me, they don't earn as much as I do, but when they're creative and it comes from the human soul and not a machine, because a machine isn't capable of writing anything with any soul in it. If you've got to get rid of that, and you're going to rob young people of their legacy and their income, it's a criminal offence, I think. I think the government are just being absolute losers. And I'm very angry about it, as you can tell.
Any idea?
Exactly. Well, hang on. Before you move on, I can't tell because his face has got no emotion. Has he had a bit of work done?
Well, he's had a lot of work done.
I think I need some of that. Look, he's got rid of his frown lines. What's he using there?
It's got to be Botox, something of that nature.
I'll have some of that, mate.
Well, I tell you, this is all about AI and music copyright, and that's what he's talking about. And what Labour are proposing is to give the big guys control, to access legally, all the works that are out there for AI to learn upon without infringing on copyright. Now, this is a bit of a problem because let me just state this out as somebody that knows about copyright, okay? There are so many different ways to abuse copyright. I mean, I can tell you now, for example, okay? Many, many years ago, talking about like 20, 25 years ago, there was a music publisher that was asked for a classical work. And, they said to this person that was requesting it for use on an advert, okay? He said, hold on. He said, just give me about half an hour. I'll come back to you. And what he did was he sent one of his underlings out to go buy a classical album from one of the CD stores. I think it was like Virgin or something like that. And they went out and they bought it. And then he came back and he ripped and quickly edited some classical tracks of the track that this guy was asking for. And then he sent it to him and he said, is that any good for you? And the guy said, yeah, great. And they put it out in a commercial. And it was from some foreign orchestra. And nobody was going to be able to find out who it was, how it was, who owned the copyright in the recording, and boom, it was actually utilized. And that's true because I know, because I was there in the conversation, and the guy was just laughing about it. And he said, yeah, I got something like about $4,000 out of that. Bloody lovely, $4,000, boom, okay? I was thinking, Jesus Christ. Now, that's 25 years ago. Now, what they do, in terms of copyright, is they change the speed of the track, they change some of the elements within the track, they change some of the reverb within the track, and they just reissue it as if they have the copyright. And this goes on the world over. Now, the only people that they don't mess with are the big guys that are extremely knowledgeable about what can and can't be done. And I'm talking about Universal, Sony, and Warner's. And not very many people mess with them. Spotify won't mess with them, neither will TikTok and all the rest of them. But this, believe it or not, is a new threat because you imagine, and don't for one second think that the big guys are not involved in it. They are all heavily invested in AI. And they are using their own material for AI to learn on. Now, Elton John says, yeah, because he's already done a deal. I mean, his last deal he did with Universal, he got a massive, massive advance on all the stuff. Now, I don't know what was part of that deal, but if he's getting pissed off, it means that some of that AI will be doing things like, we need to learn on that repertoire. And they'll be going through everybody's repertoire. Everybody, all the best stuff. You think about it going back, all those years. Michael McDonald, the Doobie Brothers, Foreigner, all of that. The AI will be learning that. And they will be going through that material so that when somebody says, I need a track with, a little bit of, for example, Rihanna in it, that kind of a feel, that kind of a dance thing, blah, 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 blah. And, can you do that? And the prompts just keep on going on before long, and you come up with a track. Now, do you think the majors are doing that just for the pure joy of seeing technology succeed? Not a chance. That will be their new songwriters, and they will own 100% of the copyrights. And you can see it within the music industry as well with these keyboards that are arrangers, how good they're getting. And it's getting so close. And AI voices, bear me out, Mark. When the people can go on to, an AI app and they can say, I want to sing a song like da-da-da-da-da. And they take a little sample of the voice and then boom, there it is. It's out. So that's what's happening right now. Now, Elton John is saying, he doesn't agree with it. But I mean, what's he already going to do? He's saying, it's a pain in the ass because the politicians are giving the music publishers and the record companies full sway, to go and do it. And there's a little bit more to what he's saying, and then I'll open it up to you guys and tell
before you do, I thought if you composed a piece of music, that's you copyrighted it because you've composed it. So it's the actual music.
True.
And then what about the performance rights, where if you've sung it, that's your voice. If you played the instrument, you played the guitar.
Right.
So how are they getting around that? They're actually
they are bending every single rule, and the Labour.
John would have to say you can't use any of my voice.
Well,
and you can't use anything I've made on the piano because I created that.
Actors are going through the same thing. Have a listen to a little bit more because you've opened something up there which is actually very, very true. Here we go.
Okay. Big tech has so much money. And if you're a young person, you're fighting big tech, good luck. I want the government to see sense. I want it to come back on our side, because if they don't, I'm going to feel like a suffragette. The Derby's coming up soon, right? It's just, but it's really disrespectful. It's really disheartening. I supported the government. I did a thing for them at St. Paul's Cathedral when the Keir Starmer said, I want to help young people in the music business. I want to support them. Well, he's not doing it. And I did that show, and I did it because I believed, but I'm not believing so much now.
Did he just say he believed in Keir Starmer's word?
Yes, basically.
Wow, Elton John, bit naive, isn't he?
Well, not so much naive as he understands, like more than most, copyright. And anybody within the industry understands copyright. So you're quite right. Anything that you put out, which is original, is not available to anybody else. It's as simple as that. And that's where you get strikes. But the problem is that when you hear a song, like say, for example, there were songs in the past, like the Marvin Gaye song, and there was a big copyright strike for another Robin Thicke, for doing something. And it sounded just like the Marvin Gaye song. Now, you have copyright specialists that go into that, but AI is taking that one step beyond because it's blurring the dividing lines, not only between the actual chordal and melodic structures, but the style and the feel of the work as well. And that's where the problem is. And it's going to be big business, because can you see the publishers deciding, well, we can get 100% of the copyright on that? If they can get it right.
Going to say at the minute, it's not perfect. That's
AI right.
Music's absolute garbage. You can tell straight away. But if it's anything like the videos, they're getting really difficult to spot now.
Correct.
If they didn't say some words that you wouldn't think the people would say, you wouldn't know. If you kept them sensible, if the music catches up, which it will do then.
Well, here it is. I mean, look at it from the music industry point of view, from the creator's point of view. Tell me what pianos that you're hearing aren't sampled. Tell me if they're a real piano being played in a hall with a string quartet. No. They're all sampled now. And the only work that some of these orchestras are getting is for people sampling them so that keyboardists can replay them. That's the thing about it. That's what's happening. And you know it. And if it's happening at that level, then what do you think is going to be going on from that? I mean, I've told you now, the next stage, were those arranger keyboards. And if you listen to the arranger keyboards, you're looking at Korg, you're looking at Ketron, you're looking at Yamaha with the Genus, I know, and things like that. You listen to them, and you will find that some of those arrangements are so good that you're listening back and you're thinking, you find it very difficult to tell that the guy that's playing it, you hear a guitar solo over an orchestra and you're thinking, my God, that's so realistic. Now, that's all this is. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, if you can, in its simplest form, if you can take a voice of a singer and it could be out of tune. I mean, you've seen some of those jokey things, and then bang, it's in tune. Nearly every performance that sorry, Mark, every performance that you're seeing, for example, at Eurovision, all those singers are under a auto-tune, effects to make sure that they sing in tune on the night. Go ahead.
We've got massive problems here. We thought originally it was going to be the likes of, manual work in, factories and things like that. We're going to be, they were going to be replaced. Now you're looking at losing all the creative work people do, and it's not just going to be music, is it? It's going to be films. It's going to be everything. You can tell that some of these people on the news and certain things are using AI because it's just not what it is. People are
it lacks the soul, doesn't
the homework with it. Well, what next? You don't need teachers. We don't need anything anymore because AI will just do it all. Then what do we all do? Humans need a purpose. It's all good about saying, I'll just go and play golf. But you'll soon get bored of that.
But where's
it? Get bored after 10 minutes.
Where's there has to be some happy medium. Trevor, what are your views?
Look at the military
very
as well.
Contemplative.
No, I mean, I live on YouTube. I'm on YouTube every day. I'll be going on it again in a minute. But you can tell straight away when it's AI.
Yeah.
When they when they put a video up, and I'll flick it onto it. I don't know any subject. A lot of it's political.
Yeah.
And I'll click onto it, and straight away you can tell it's AI. I'll just turn it off.
Yeah.
Because they never get to an act. They never. It's always
it's robotic.
Let's just say it's never what they'll give a title for whatever the issue is, but it's never explained in the video, and you've just sat there for 10 minutes. In fact, I actually thought one was AI once, but it was that British stand.
All right, okay.
And then you only ever heard his voice for like months, and then next minute he's on there, and I was like, wow, you sound like AI, mate. Now he's on 2CTV and that, but you're right, the majority of them you can just tell straight away.
And you're right there, mate, Mike.
Mark. Remember dog with a hair lip.
You can't forget my name, mate. It's on the bottom of the screen there. Look.
There you go.
Yeah, I was looking at my mic.
Just down there, mate.
What it is on there, Matt, when they'll give you the clickbait and you'll go on it.
Yeah. They've got you.
And they've got you, but I don't know how they do it because you don't get a view unless you watch the video till the end, and that's why they all tell you to watch it till the end to get that view.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're getting the views. It's obviously some fiddler.
It'll work on people the first couple of times. It'll say something like Angela Rayner exposed, and you're like, I haven't heard anyone exposing Angela Rayner, or has she exposed something?
That's where AI is taking over
likely,
there.
But
yeah,
you know
it is.
I mean?
But you soon suss it, and you'll see it and think, oh, hang on, it's they'll get you a couple of times, and then that's it. You just don't bother with them.
But there is benefit to AI because you can use it as a research guide. You can use it for being able to instantly check certain things. So there are benefits to it. It's just if they start putting things into law, then that is definitely going to start causing problems. Because right now, AI can search the internet. I haven't quite seen it being able to scavenge certain things deep in websites, but they have got that facility. And you imagine something if a real musician is able to give the direct prompts for certain things to make it a little bit more human in particular areas, to do certain things. I'm telling you, because it's the difference between, say, for example, in old school, a MIDI file and then listening to somebody play over a MIDI file. So you get like a sort of a little bit of a mixture, between the two.
They should be locked up then. I mean, that Jimmy Savile should have been locked up years before that.
I said MIDI file, not pedophile.
MIDI file. I'm just saying, just get rid of him.
We should have seen this one coming, really, because we've done like a bit of production of music stuff. We've used samplers, we've seen synthesizers.
Yeah.
We've just watched it go away from the human element of making music to all. Like, you can literally sit on a laptop and make a song now.
Yeah. Well,
the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? And this AI is just going to get rid of the whole person who uses that stuff.
Well, I can tell you now, I mean, if the government get this wrong, and that's... I think they are going to get it wrong. We done
a podcast on it, didn't we? The AI, and we went through who's going to be controlling it. Now that's a bad idea.
All the people that are investing in it, but you see, the same thing is, you see the likes of Apple, Microsoft, and all the rest of them. They all need content, and who owns the content? The major publishers and the major record companies. Right? Major record companies own the mechanical copyrights, in the recordings, and the publishers own the publishing of the recordings. So, quite literally, they have actually got control. And if they're investing in AI, if you asked Universal, have you got any investment in AI? And they went, no. You say, lies. Of course they have. Of course they all have. So as it is now, everybody's material is up for grabs, even the big guys. That's why Elton John is actually speaking out about it.
Is he doing anything though, John? Because isn't there some court cases in the US about this?
There are, but they're not making much headway at the moment.
Well, people are asking Trump why he's not stopping it.
Because it's big business.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want to stop
like
big
Trump
business.
a lot of the time, John, but sometimes he just solely makes decisions based on money.
Indeed.
You can't always do that in politics, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm going to pull something in right now because it's a subject that we're going to come back to, but I have to end on something happy. Trevor!
Don't show me that banana chicken thing, or I'll...
Trevor, well, no, where that's concerned, I'm going to come up with those subjects. I mean, a lot of those subjects tonight deserve this.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
This gets funnier every time.
Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck?
They deserve that.
I've just realised after 3 weeks what they're saying. They're actually saying
Bitch.
shit,
Yeah. I've just had the same. I didn't know what they were saying at the start.
I've just noticed that after about 3 or 4 weeks that they've actually said bitch.
What do I need captions on it? Right? You guys say that all the time. You say it all the time. Oh, Jesus. Trevor.
Well, I knew they were saying what the F, but I didn't know what they were saying at the start.
I'll tell you what it is from my point of view. That's my... I'm not into classical music, but I was introduced to that 30 years ago by my mother-in-law, and that's the most beautiful. I went out and I've got the single, the theme from Lake Me. It's absolutely beautiful.
That's still beautiful. I just like the words.
Just destroyed it.
No, not a chance. I think that's brilliant. All right, talk about destroying things.
Behind it? No, I'll destroy it a bit more if you want.
All right, listen, okay, Trevor.
Turn it drum and bass.
Tell us something happy before we leave. Come on.
Well, I went round to daughter's last night. That's happy. I said to her, "Have you got a newspaper?" She said, "Dad, this is the 21st century now." I said, "Here. Here's my iPad. Use that." I'll tell you what, that fly didn't know what it is. I'm telling you. Yeah, so I'll leave it on that thought. Yeah.
That might be a joke, but I was looking for something to fly with the other day. There was nothing. I was like, I need a paper.
No, there's no papers, is there? That's it now. They've all
I have to use the fly spray. It's boring, that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Use disinfectant spray. It works great on them. I love watching them because they're little bastards, right? They're buzzing around. You can't get them. You can't hit them. You can't do anything. But if you spray them with the disinfectant spray, damn, they die in agony. And I don't care. I don't care whatsoever.
What is it? The old spray under the arms, deodorant.
Deodorant, that'll do it.
It cocks the wings up. It stiffens the wings up.
Hey, it's much better if you use a lighter and deodorant. definitely kills it.
Yeah, that's called a flame
honestly,
frog.
yeah, I
It's
caught
called
a dragonfly.
frog, Matt, yeah.
I caught a dragonfly like that once. Bet you don't know anyone else who caught a dragonfly, do you?
No.
There you go, claim to fame there.
There you go. Well, say goodnight, everybody. Say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching.
Indeed.
Keep forgetting about the watching bit.
Indeed. And the watching. Well, of course. All right.
Say goodbye to the lovely viewers and listeners, and of course our armed forces, who Keir Starmer is about to hand over to the EU. See you later.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
After they don't put them in prison first, or call them all racists, or whatever they're doing to all our military. Scum.
Absolutely. Scum.
Well,
Scumbags.
Certainly
Let's
won't
wrap
house
this
them,
up.
will they, when they come out.